2020. This is the 39.6 Facebook and YouTube Live Finance Show. I'm your host, Victor Mangona. This is the show that teaches high earners like yourselves how to make your money work for you so you don't have to work for your money. We talk general investing, taxes, real estate, syndications, Airbnb, even the car you drive. Today was day 3 of 3 of PIMDCON 2020. This will be my wrap-up. My show was the first on the docket for this morning. They're all released at the same time. But I was privileged to have the number 1 spot. So I think if people are going in order, it was watched early by more people and potentially by more people. So that's pretty exciting. I woke up this morning, got a little bit nervous knowing that it was out there and people might already be watching it. And then I started getting all these notifications like all day long. It was pretty awesome to see how many people this reached and how many people it had an impact on. And those are only the people that I kind of heard from. But yeah, our talk was on Airbnb house hacking, our experience over the past 4 years, and kind of going through the numbers of our experience, and then ultimately how we have been filing this on our taxes and using the cost seg, and if you were to be able to use bonus depreciation and whatnot, and how beneficial it could be for W-2 earners or any earner who doesn't meet full-time real estate professional status. So it was pretty exciting. And after, in the afternoon, for the people who had VIP, we had live Q&A sessions. I think these were absolutely awesome. I forgot to say thank you to Peter, first of all, again. I should have said that first because Peter, Passive Income MD, Peter Kim, put together this amazing conference, virtual conference again. He's on fire. I mean, he's put on 2 amazing conferences in like 5 months' time or so, reaching thousands and thousands and thousands of people. The first one was Leverage and Growth Summit earlier this summer, or maybe in the springtime. And then this, all virtually, just totally awesome, incredible reach. So, but the Q&As have been really cool. I didn't get to go to as many as I wanted to, but you get to have one-on-one time, basically, or not one-on-one, but direct time with some of the speakers to do Q&A, and actually have a lot of time. And a lot of meetings, when you do Q&A, it's hard to really have time to answer all of the audience's questions because often it's like tucked in at the end of your talk within your time allotment. And so it's just hard to answer a lot of questions, but we had like a whole hour. And so I could really talk to a lot of people. There were like 40 or 50 people in there and answer everybody's questions that had come up. So that was really awesome. And so that was my talk. I'm not going to redo that one here, but you can still access it from the conference for those who have VIP access. Now, and you can still actually get that after the fact. So today was day 3. Other talks, I'm trying to find my window. There it is. So I was actually pretty excited to see David DeGreenis. David is over here. Also, we're both here in Dallas. He's out in the burbs, and we're here more in like the city burbs. But yeah, we've both been doing Airbnb for a while. He's scaled up more, has a number of houses, and he had an awesome talk. And I guess he has a program now, so that's a pretty cool educational program. But he has great resources for people out there who are looking to get into short-term rentals. We're again kind of phasing out of them, but after years of doing it, we've learned a lot. And there are some questions in the Facebook group. I will try to answer them sometime this week. But he's got some awesome resources. I would check out his talk if you did not get to. And I was excited to see that he also did a cost seg on one of his Airbnb's for the 2019 taxes and saved him a bunch. I don't know if it could have actually been multiple. But I'm glad to know that somebody else is doing the same thing. So I'm not like the only one out here. And apparently his CPA was okay with it as well. So that is really pretty exciting. This is something that I don't think really many people have talked about. And based on all the new rules, it seems totally legit. And you can save yourself a ton of money as an active business in real estate without having real estate professional status, because real estate professional status only helps turn passive things into active. But if you're already an active business, then losses in an active business are active losses. So check out his if you'd like to hear more. Corey Fawcett always gives a good talk. He had a very nice professional talk talking about how he's designed systems in his real estate empire. I mean, he's got a 63 unit apartment complex, and then a bunch of others as well, I believe. Let's see, who else do we have here? Chiagozi Fawole. I don't know how to say her last name. Fawole? I don't know. She had a nice talk going through how she has hustled and built her real estate portfolio, really getting down and dirty and getting the deals and making it happen. Eric Tate, very, very, very bright guy. I got to, last year we were in PIMDCON together and we shared the stage. This is actually one of the most memorable talks I've ever done. It was me and him. And we had Corey Fawcett and Leticia Alto and Jim Dolly, White Coat Investor. He was the moderator of the active versus passive debate. And Eric Tate and I were on the passive side, and Leticia and Corey were on the active side. And that was really, really, really fun. But one of the most important things, and he stresses this a lot often when he's commenting in other people's posts on Facebook groups, but publicly traded assets can be substantially more correlated than we think they are. Like, we often think stocks and bonds are not correlated and that they're inversely correlated. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, yeah, when the stock market crashes, a lot of times people put their money and go to bonds because it's like a safe harbor. And often when interest rates are low, like right now, people take their money out of bonds and put it into stocks because they want more yield, and the yield in bonds is low. So it can prop up the value of equities. So yeah, there absolutely can be an inverse relationship. However, people can pull their money out of both and go to cash. And when times are tough and people need more liquidity, need more cash, they just might sell those assets. And so they can both go down. So they're not as inversely correlated as people think. Over time, they tend to be, but there are definitely phases where they can be very much correlated in either direction, up or down. Real estate in general, we often say, is not as correlated, but when we talk about publicly traded REITs, they often are quite correlated with the stock market because they're traded in the same way. And so they have a lot of parallels in how money inflows and outflows. Long-term treasuries, and when it comes to bonds, tend to be, at least from my understanding, the most inversely related to equities, more so than short and intermediate term. And for example, last year they just did unbelievably well, or at least not necessarily last year, but this year, earlier in the year. Anyhow, that's something very important. And he likes to bring up the club for the people who have like 8-figure wealth. And he showed the asset allocation of that. And I was shocked because I had like 21% equities, 9% bonds. I don't have a screenshot of this, but I was going by memory. And then 12% cash. And then a good percentage in real estate, like 20% or something. And then there was the private equity, hedge funds, and things like that. But it's interesting because when I go to my personal capital, and this isn't necessarily 100% by design, I haven't spent a lot of time talking about our asset allocation. We talk about it, briefly routinely, but I don't force an asset allocation. We have different buckets that money has to kind of go into, and the space in those buckets is, determined by whatever the year allows you to put in, and whatever goes into our taxable is based on whatever we earn that year. And so we're not super strict, but yeah, our U.S. equities right now is like exactly 21%, and then international like 10%, and then our bonds are like 7%. But anyway, I was looking at the percentages, and I was like, oh, these are very close, and cash for us is like 10% ish. We're not quite there, but the total equities in that was like 30%, and that's basically where we keep our money, or maybe it's 21%, but it's like in the 20 to 30 range. So we don't have a very equity heavy portfolio, and that's what people with a lot of money do, and they have a very diversified portfolio with a lot of non-publicly traded assets. Okay, and Toby Mathis and Clint Coons of Anderson Advising, I think that's what they're called. They're always awesome to listen to, and they have a nice organization that puts together both people from the law side and asset protection, but also on the legal side. I personally don't have that myself. I had my asset structures kind of done before, and then had a CPA, and they're not in the same company, and so it makes it a little bit more challenging because they don't. I have to kind of explain what the lawyer is doing, and I don't understand it, and then it just makes it complicated. It is kind of nice to have people in the same house, but they both have to be good at both, as opposed to just focusing on one or the other, because asset protection and then saving on tax are two completely different things. So highly recommend those talks, and they have a lot of other resources ongoing that I'm probably going to pursue looking into more. And then also, I forgot to mention yesterday when I was talking about Kenji, and Lethi. So Kenji and Lethi, they have, and I have no affiliation with them formally, except that they're awesome and we're friends. But they have a course that I actually signed up for and have started. They have their Fast Fire bookkeeping course for real estate investors. Bookkeeping is like one skill that I really, 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 really wish I knew better. Like, we have a bookkeeper, but still, like, you need to have some understanding of bookkeeping, and we have a complicated setup with all of our stuff, and it still just confuses me how we keep track of different things. And anyhow, it's like $1,000 if you sign up today, or like $1,300 if you sign up after today. And by today, it's like today Pacific time, so like 2 more hours or something. But $1,000 for a course just on bookkeeping for real estate, like, so valuable, because I've thought about taking different QuickBooks courses, because we use QuickBooks for our bookkeeping, but like, these are they're QuickBooks courses. They're not courses for real estate investors, and there are certain things that apply to real estate that don't necessarily apply to just general bookkeeping for like a single active business. And it's a highly curated course that focuses on this, and Lethi and Kenji are awesome at putting material together for those who don't know, and they have a good team working with them. I've already done a number of the modules. It was released this week, and I kind of binged through a bunch of them early to get started just to check it out, and I was totally impressed by the quality and professionalism of this. So if you're interested, like if you already have real estate and you're trying to keep up with your books and kind of want to get that better, even if you have a bookkeeper or whatever, honestly, $1,000 is nothing when it comes down to the value. So, and they always over deliver. So highly recommend. Again, I have zero affiliation with them, except they're awesome, and we're friends. And honestly, if anybody had a course like this, I would have zero qualms about promoting it, because it is awesome. So that is it for tonight. We will be on episode number 99 tomorrow. Gosh, tomorrow's already October 12th. And then in Texas, we can vote on Tuesday. That's also going to be episode number 100. I need to figure something out for that. I feel like I've been doing talks like all day today, so I'm a little tired right now, but I will see you all here back tomorrow. Let me just check the chat box real quick. If anybody's here. Wow, bunch of people here because everybody joined the group today. Okay. Oh, that's hi, Kate. Shout out to Lathy and Kenji. We heard them. Yes, true that. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That is it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow on the 39.6 Facebook and YouTube Live Finance Show, the show that teaches high earners like yourselves how to make your money work for you so you don't have to work for your money. This is not legal, financial, accounting, financial, I said that twice, or any other advice whatsoever. This is strictly for my entertainment, hopefully yours. Have a good night.